Jay Valai. He was asked if he could trade places with any player on his team. He said J.J. Watt, because Watt runs Madison.
I'm going to miss game days in Camp Randall. That's the number one thing I'm going to miss is the fans, the environment, my teammates.
As J.J. Watt makes another play in Northwestern's backfield.
And just knowing that I ended my career with my last play in Camp Randall was a tackle for loss, and I walked off the field with the crowd chanting my name. It was the most unbelievable experience of my life, and that's definitely a moment I'll cherish forever.
Once you guys get your height and weight, put your shoes on, because you're going to do your reach at the end.
I think one thing we stress in this program is everybody's going to have an opportunity. Who's going to maximize it?
Teams that are more interested in you than others, they're going to show up at your pro day and really start to focus in on you as a prospect.
33 3/8.
JJ has only played defensive line for 3 years. He was a tight end at Central Michigan, so his growth potential is off the charts.
6'0", 289.
I was taller here than I was at the combine.
There was a couple plays this year where we put him on a matchup issue and excelled in that role, whatever. You can have JJ do whatever you want. If you think he can do it and you tell him he's going to do it, he'll do it.
It's pro day, obviously a big day. I feel good about it just because, I mean, this is the last big chance to perform in front of people, in front of the scouts before it turns into a big waiting game. So it's exciting to get this done and to get out there.
Sanzenbacher is going to run the 40 again, and he is going to do position drills.
Dane is plenty fast enough. Dane has great football speed, and he's overcome pretty much everything. Every time someone says he can't do something, he does it. He does it very well.
Sanzenbacher, weight 180.
The thing about Ohio State's Pro Day is people expect you to perform better, particularly in the 40, than they saw you do at the Combine. The Combine, he did not have a bad 40 time, but it maybe wasn't blazing.
We got a decent warm-up period. It was much more comfortable than the Combine, just because you know when you're about to run. You're in your own setting. I guess it kind of helped loosen the mood to a point. I mean, I've never been called Dale in my life. You get really serious when you're going up there and something like that happens. Just kind of, you realize how you're just running a straight line here, and it's not as serious as you're making it out to be, so just relax and run it. There's so many different times that people get, but our official time I was given was 4.5 flat. So after that, you know, my goal through this whole thing has been to get into the 4.4s. I knew I was close enough to have that opportunity.
Yeah, he broke 4.5, and so that's what we set out to do, man. It was gratifying. All the training that we did finally seeded itself. You know, his body peaked at the right time.
To get through the second attempt and, you know, 4.48 felt really good to get that up there. And I don't feel like, you know, those hundredths of a second are that much different on the football field, but for me personally, and the fact that they are measuring on that scale, it's nice to add that to your resume.
Did you feel fast while you were running it?
Yeah, I always felt fast.
Feel like
Now that he's run in the 4.5s, it would not surprise me if someone in the second or third round even says, we have to have this guy who brings so many intangibles. Now, does that mean he will? No, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if he got drafted a lot higher than people think.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. The last 6 months or so have brought back a lot of feelings and remembrances for me of my final year and the draft process. I was taken first pick of the second round in 1982. My brother Steve was taken first pick of the second round 7 years later. And now Steph has got a really good chance of going right at the end of the first round.
Were you working combinations?
Yeah, oh yeah. Going right, left, right, double.
Yeah.
Snapping a little bit.
Someone could say that I'm wearing different hats, but I mean, for me, I'm wearing the dad hat, you know. Now that I've got my brother Steve, you know, is an NFL insider, if you will, being an assistant O-line coach, I feel like Stefan's getting some great counsel.
I talked to my agents about it and talked to Uncle Steve as well. He said times were all pretty solid and no need to do that again. He's giving me feedback from the combine that I wouldn't have gotten, you know, if I didn't have an uncle who was an O-line coach.
Now, one thing he and I talked about just yesterday that I think is important is for you, especially getting a sense who's coming in and who's going to be taking a look at you, to learn a little bit about that coach personally and their system. Steve did say that you know, probably getting 100 snaps a day is what you should be doing 4 or 5 days a week.
I can definitely step that up, especially since it seems like a lot of these teams are looking at me as a center.
On the vert, I got a PR, I think, 35 inches was pretty good for me today. And I mean, I just felt, you know, loose from running, and so it felt good.
Come on, let's go. Yep.
I was getting stingers, so, you know, during the season, and I kind of worked those out during training. I was, you know, strengthening up my shoulder, and I wasn't able to, you know, bench as much as I wanted to.
That working?
13. I think I could have did 19 if I was healthy.
Just matured so much physically. You know, he was a really long, lean athlete coming out of high school, and to watch where he bought into our strength and conditioning program. You know, a young man did a lot for us, rushed the passer, was really good in special teams, and obviously played both our Sam and Will position at linebacker, and then evolved himself as a leader in our program to become a captain. So we're very proud of him.
We're talking about a kid who weighed 190 pounds. He was really more of a basketball player. And through hard work and development, and a word he used a lot, investment, he turned himself into a big-time Big Ten linebacker.
The bulk of his year, his resume is going to be here on the field. You know, the tape, watching him practice, his practice habits. He's a disciplined athlete. I think he can do a lot of things for a lot of defenses.
I feel good, but you know, you can never know for sure. It's a big relief now that it's over. I mean, you've been training for like 2 months for this one day, and it went kind of fast, I have to say. And now it's over, I can, you know, breathe easy, but then I have to get back on my grind. You know, I have to keep working out hard, and if these teams come along, I have to show them, you know, work out again.